Hello, welcome to a new video. Today I'm bringing you a really big unhaul and I'm proud of myself. Not going to be so proud of myself when I'm putting all my new books on the bookcases and still can't find space for them, but we're gonna bask in the glory of this unhaul for a bit because I've got exactly 80 books. Yes, you heard right. 80. Some of these may shock you. Some may not. Some are just because I just really don't care anymore. But I'll give you like basic reasons for the ones I'm getting rid of. So the first one, I'm just going to get stuck in because I ain't got time for this. I was originally going to do this unhaul where I actually take books off the shelves on camera and then speed it up and do a little B-roll. I don't have time and I don't have space. Right now, my room is just ridiculous because I have piles of books everywhere that don't fit on the shelves. So I thought I'm just going to make my life a bit easier and I'm just going to pick the books normally and then just film myself telling you what I'm unhauling. So first up, we're starting with The Drowning Pool by Sidmore. I got 85 pages in. I really don't want to finish it. I did say if I haven't finished it by the end of the year, it's being unhauled. And I'm DNFing it and unhauling it. And I haven't picked it up since middle of October. So it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, I'm gutted, but can't force myself to read it and put myself in a bigger slump than I'm already in. The next one, More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Now, at first, I was putting this off because I feel a bit burnt by Adam Silvera because of Infinity Sun. Not going to go into that. I'm not going to go there. But then I thought, no, do you know what? I love his contemporaries. I've loved They Both Die in the End. I loved History Is All You Left Me. Or I liked History Is All You Left Me. And I like the, What If It's Us that he did with Becky Albertalli. However, I found out this has a cheating trope. I don't do cheating tropes, so it's going. Bye-bye. And on the same note, I'm never going to reread History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. I enjoyed it. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I enjoyed it. I just won't reread it. Whereas They Both Die in the End, I will reread. This wasn't it for me. Like, it's not one I'm going to reread. So again, I'm going to gently put this one down because that's not a bye-bye. It's a bye. Next up, we have a duology, and that is Crater Lake and Crater Lake Evolution by Jennifer Killick. I read Crater Lake in October and was so disappointed by it. I have no like want to pick up the second one whatsoever, so I'm just getting rid of both of them. Next we have Tristan Strong, Punches a Hole in the Sky. I was really excited about this, but I have literally everyone I've seen that's read it did not like it, so I'm not gonna, it's really put me off reading it, so I'm just not gonna even give it a go, unfortunately, because it sounded really good. Next we have three off of my self-destruct. Now my self-destruct isn't destructing and like it's not like imploding until March. However, the more I look at these three on that pile, the more I just realise that I do not want to pick them up. So what's the point in even acting like I'm going to? So we have Wilder Girls by Rory Power. Haven't heard great things about this, especially about the ending, so I'm not bothering. Moxie by someone, Jennifer Matthew. Again, I just don't really want to read it. It's not drawing me in at all whatsoever. And then we have Star Daughter by Shveta Thakrar. Again, I've not heard great things about it, so I'm not even going to attempt it at this point. Next we have Wake by Amanda Hocking. I feel kind of bad about this because this was actually gifted to me by a friend for my birthday a few years back. But the more I look at it, the more I realise I'm not really interested in these types of books. I might love it, but if I've got no like motivation to pick it up, what's the point in keeping it if I'm never going to pick it up? Next we have Speak Up by Laura Corriton. Yeah, Laura Corriton. This is gonna be a great thing. I'm gonna donate this to the charity shop, because this would be a great thing for teenagers to read. This is actually signed and personalized, because I went to a event that I believe it was Holly Bourne and a couple of others, and it was like it was on International Women's Day. Rory Corriton is actually the person that ended tampon tax, and she is like incredible. Like, and I think this would be an amazing book for teenagers, but I don't think I'm the right audience for this, which is a shame. But it's very much, there's things about relationships and consent and self-love and things like that, and I feel like this is the sort of book that teenagers need, not just teenage girls, just teenagers in general. So yeah, I'm going to donate this one to the charity shop, because I think it would be a really great read for someone a bit younger. Next we have The Burning by Laura Bates. I again, this was at the same event. I don't have any want to, it's to do with witch hunts and things. It's not actually witches, and I was really confused about that, and I thought it was about witches, but it's not. It's just about witch hunts and things like that. So I'm not really interested in it anymore. Then we have Potkin and Stubbs by Sophie Green. I love this book, but I don't see myself rereading it. I got the second book from the library. I also loved the second book, but I think I will just get the third book from the library as well. I don't need to keep the physical copy. I just don't think I will reread this series, but it is an amazing series. Next we have Ashfall Legacy by Pittacus Law. This came in a Litjoy in August or November. No, August. November isn't here yet. It came in August Litjoy, and I just don't care for it at all. It doesn't sound great. So it's going. Next we have a book I loved, Seafire by Natalie C. Parker. And the reason I'm getting rid of this, like, I feel like I would reread this, but the reason I'm getting rid of it is because they actually abandoned the publishing for the sequel to this in the UK. So whilst it has been published in the US, it's a different cover, and the only way I could get matching cover to this was by ebook. So I bought the ebook for the second one. So I think I'm just gonna buy the ebook for this one and just have them as ebook copies, because I do think I would reread this series, even though I haven't read the second one yet. I really enjoyed the first one, and it's a beautiful cover, and I'm so sad that the second one isn't being published over here. Next we have the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Now, the reason I'm getting rid of these is because I have the collector's edition, and I will be getting the collector's editions of these two when they come out. I don't think I'm gonna feel a need to reread them anytime soon. I do want to reread them, but I don't think it's going to happen soon. So I'm just going to unhaul these, because they are taking up a fair amount of space. And then as the collector's edition comes out, I will just replace them with those. But yeah, these were all secondhand anyway, so they're a bit battered, and they're also Ruin. Why is Ruin and Rising that side? Ruin and Rising is the big paperback, and I don't like the non-matching on my shelves. Next we have Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo, or Acevedo, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I loved this book. It was in my top 10 of last year. However, it's just not one I think I'll reread. It's in, is it prose? Poetry style? And that's not really my type of book, so I was very shocked that I loved this as much as I did. But it was the story that did it for me, but I just don't think I'll reread it. However, go read this book. It is amazing. The next one might shock you. It's Empire the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. This is the Forbidden Planet edition. I don't know what I was thinking when I pre-ordered this. I thought it had blue edges. And for me, this isn't exclusive enough for me to keep. So it's up on eBay. Because, yeah, I'm not keeping this one. Next we have a trilogy, and I don't know what the name of the trilogy or the order they go in, but it is Deliverance, Defiance and Deception by CJ Redwine. I got these in a bunch of books that my friend had got secondhand and didn't want, and they sounded great at first, but I just don't think I'm going to read them. I've had them for about 3 years and haven't even looked at them. I forgot I even had them before I was doing this unhaul, so, you know, that's a sign. Next we have Atlantea by Ali Conde. Now I do like Ali Conde's books that I have read, but I just have no want to pick this up. I don't know if it's a standalone or first in a series, but I just don't fancy picking it up, so it's going. Then we have another trilogy. This was again in that bunch of secondhand books. I think it's the Trial by Fire, which really confused me because I got it confused with a different series that's called Trial by Fire. But it's Trial by Fire, Raised by Wolves and Taken by Storm by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And it's about werewolves, but I just have no want to pick it up. I think it's like early 2000s. Let's have a look. 2011. Yeah. Next we have Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. The only reason I'm getting rid of this is because I finally have a complete set and I have the hardback that matches the second and third book. I never thought it would happen, which is why I purchased the paperback, but then this year they decided to release a very limited run of the hardback with this cover, so I don't need the paperback now. And then we have Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Now I loved this book when I first read it, but I think I've just grown out of it a little bit and I'm never going to reread Fangirl, whereas I will reread the Simon Snow trilogy. I'm never going to read Fangirl, so I'm getting rid of this. Then we have Legend Ball by Tracy Dion. I loved this book. It was a very high 4-star. However, I couldn't read it physically. I had to read it audibly because the writing is tiny and my eyes wouldn't do it for me. So I'm unhauling it for that reason, and that reason only is because the text is too small, but the book itself is amazing. Next we have The Bone Garden by Heather Castner. I read this earlier this year and wasn't a great fan, so it's going. Then we have Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Cory McCarthy. This was on my self-destruct. I did read it. I liked it. It was okay. However, I have decided I'm most likely not going to continue this duology. I'm just not feeling it. If I change my mind, I'll get the second book from the library or something, but that book's going. Then we have Wendy Darling by AC Wise. I was gifted this and I feel really bad, but I did read it and it was an okay book. I didn't hate it. I think it was a 3-star for me. I just didn't love it and I'm not going to reread it, so yeah. Then we have The Marvellous Land of Snurgs by Veronica Cossentelli. I got this in a Tales by Mal and I honestly just have no want to pick it up. It's actually the story, it's the book that it's the story that inspired The Hobbit, but yeah, I just have no motivation to pick it up. Next up we have Catwoman and Wonder Woman. Catwoman's by Sarah J Maas and Wonder Woman's by Leigh Bardugo. I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm not a DC fan. I only got these because of who wrote them. I've never read them and I have no motivation to pick them up, and I'm not going to get the Batman and Superman ones that were wrote by Marie Lu and Danielle. I can't remember the other author's name, but yeah, I don't want to read them. Next, I'm getting rid of my Illumicrate version of Havenfall by Sarah Holland. We all know how much I love Havenfall. This was my 5th edition. I'm keeping my others. Did not like Phoenix Flame. However, Illumicrate never did a matching Phoenix Flame, so there's no point me keeping this one when it's a very small hardback, and I have both Havenfall and Phoenix Flame in the normal size hardback, so I don't need to keep the Illumicrate one. Next we have Jack of Hearts by Elsie Rosen. I really loved this book. I thought it was a really good book, but I'm realistically not going to reread it, so it goes. Also, if I do decide to reread it, I actually did get the e-arc for this, so I can just read it on Kindle if I ever feel the need. Next, we have City of Rust by Gemma Fowler. This was a middle grade monthly book. I got it specifically for that. I really liked it. It was really cute. I especially liked the gecko, Atty. However, I am not going to reread it, so it can go. Next we have Nemesis by Brendan Reichers. This was also on my self-destruct and I have read it. The whole book was really confusing and I have again decided that I don't think I am going to continue the series. I'm not sure yet, but again, I have access to a library, so if I ever feel the need, I'll get the sequel from the library. Then we have Magic for Lies by Sarah Galey. This was another one on my self-destruct, which I did read. I have been reading from it, just not many. yeah, I wasn't a fan of this. It was a massive disappointment to me, to be honest, and I don't ever want to reread it, so it's going. Then we have Sky Pirates by Alex English. This does sound really good. I got this in a Tales by Mal. It does sound really good, but I just don't think I'm going to pick it up. So yeah, it goes. And then we have The Creature Keeper by Damaris Young. Again, this was a Tales by Mal. Part of the reason I cancelled my Tales by Mal subscription was because we get 2 books, sometimes 3, every 2 months. And I just wasn't reading them. I don't actually think I've read any of my books from a Tales by Mal yet. And I've only actually kept a few. So, unfortunately, it's a no. Next up, we have a trilogy, and I feel really bad about this, but it is the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. So you have the 5th season, the Obelisk Gate, and the Stone Sky. I read 5th season, and I'm going to be completely honest, I still could not tell you what it's about. I was so confused, and it's made me not want to continue the series. So they're going. Next, we have The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles. I absolutely loved this. Look at this cover. It's stunning. And I've been holding on to this. But they actually changed the covers. So I repurchased this one in the new cover and bought the sequel in the new cover. And I've been holding on to this for pure aesthetic purposes because look at it. Look. But I don't need this copy knowing I'll never be able to complete it. It's the same reason I'm getting rid of my Illumicrate Havenfall. So unfortunately, it's going. Next, we have a couple from Laura Stephen. We have The Exact Opposite of Okay and the sequel, A Girl Called Shameless. I read The Exact Opposite of Okay. It was okay. I have no need to pick up the sequel. I just wasn't that into it. I can't even remember much of what happened. So, yeah. Then we have The Love Hypothesis. Got you, didn't I? By Laura Stephen. Yeah, it's not the Ali Hazelwood one. That's never leaving my possessions. Yeah, I have not read this and I just don't want to. Then we have The Last Bus to Everland by Sophie Cameron. I read Sophie Cameron's other book. I liked it, but I unhauled that a while back. And I just don't want to read this anymore. So it's going. A lot of these, it is a case of I just don't want to read it anymore. So there's no point in me keeping it. Next up is a trilogy by Dan Wells. I don't know what the trilogy is called, but you've got Partials, Ruins and Fragments. I was really interested in this, but it is literally the human race is all but extinct, wiped out by a killer virus released by genetically engineered soldiers. Partials. I don't need to be reading right now about a virus. And I had this for like a year and a half before COVID even happened, and I still hadn't picked it up, so I can't really use that as an excuse, can I? Next we have Throne of Swans by Catherine and Elizabeth Kaur. I was really interested in this, but the more I have the book, the less I want to pick it up, so it's going. I'm actually going to go for the big ones that are really going to shock you. Are you ready for this? I'm unhauling my paperbacks of Throne of Glass. I'm really sad about this, but I am never going to reread the paperbacks. So the first time I read this entire series, I read them in paperback. I love these so much. It's my favourite series ever. But I have them all in hardback, and on any rereads I do, I will either read the hardbacks or I also have them all on Audible. I bought them all with credits and stuff. So I realistically don't need the paperbacks when they literally took up half a shelf. So unfortunately, and this makes me so sad, I'm unhauling them. I'm really sad about it. I don't know if you can tell. Next up, we have another couple of Sarah Holland books. I'm getting rid of my hardbacks of Everless and Evermore. I say hardbacks like I also have them in paperback. I do not. These are my only copies. I feel really bad about this because my friend actually went out of her way to give me her Fairy Loot edition of the hardback so that I could have a matching set. But I liked these, but I'm never going to reread them, and I've sort of lost faith in Sarah Holland a little bit after Phoenix Flame, and it sort of put me off her books for a bit. So yeah. To be fair, my mum has these in paperback, so I might see if she wants the hardbacks and she unhauls her paperbacks. We'll see. We're almost there. Next is A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. I got this in a fairy loot back in like, what, 2019? 2018? Let's see. Oh, look, my fairy loot bookmark is on page 1. 2019. I keep meaning to pick it up. I don't. I'm getting rid of it. We're onto the book box section now. The Devil Makes 3 by Tori Bobolino. Again, a Luma crate this year. Don't want to read it. Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. Was really interested in this. Have heard nothing but rubbish reviews, so I don't want to read it. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Oh, but that was the reason you didn't read Once and Future Witches for 2 years. The difference is with Once and Future Witches, half the people were saying, oh my God, 5 stars. And the other half was saying, oh my God, I hated this. I've not heard one good review about Dark and Hollow Star, so it's going. Next, Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid. I have no interest in it whatsoever. It was an Illuma crate book, so technically I didn't go out my way to purchase it. Then we have another 2 Illuma crate ones. In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. Again, I just can't be bothered to pick it up and I've not heard great reviews. And then this is the one that I was really like on the fence about because I think I would like this, but I don't know. The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. I might keep this for a bit longer. I might actually put this on my next self-destruct. So I might keep it on my cart until March when I film my next year of like these books will self-destruct, and I might put it on there because so it's a tentative unhaul. This one might stay but only to go on a self-destruct because I do kind of want to read it, but yeah, we'll see. Next we have a duology that I went out of my way to get, and it's Grace and Fury and Queen of Ruin by Tracy Banghart. I really enjoyed this duology, but the longer it's been since I've read it, the more I'm like, am I ever going to reread it? But these are the Fairy Loot ones, and this one was so hard to get because they was just going to sell out so quickly. I was lucky to get them, and now I feel bad after all that I'm going to unhaul them. But I have read them both and liked them both. I just don't think I'll reread them. Next we have The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. I just have no interest in this. Is this the Litjoy version? This is not the Litjoy version. This is the standard edition that I was gifted. But when I sold my Litjoy version, I forgot to add in the letter. Oopsie. Yeah, just don't care for it. Next we have Wonderland. This is a collection of, well, it's an anthology of works inspired by Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. It's by many different authors and I liked it. I didn't love it, and there was only a few of the stories I actually enjoyed. It's a shame because I have got it signed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the authors, but I'm not going to reread any of them. We're on the last few, our last few. The next 2 I'm unhauling are Into the Crooked Place and City of Spells by Alexandra Christo. I was lucky enough to get the physical arc of this and I really enjoyed it, so pre-ordered the physical copy. But I literally have no want to pick up the sequel. It's not one that is drawing me in. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then finally, yes, you heard correctly, finally, books 78, 79 and 80 are the first 3 Moomin books. So the first one is The Moomins and the Great Flood. This is like a proper hardback. And then we have Corriton Moomin Land and Finn Family Moomin Troll. These are the collector's editions, which are stunning. But they are all very mediocre books for me. Is mediocre the right word? I'm just not a fan. I'm really gutted that I'm not like loving these. Like the thing is, I've read children's books from back in the day and they can be a bit problematic. But these ones I'm just like, I don't know, there's something about them and I'm just not enjoying them as much as I thought I would, which I'm gutted about. I think I will still continue to read them, but I think I'm going to get them from the library because I'd quite like, because I love Moomins. I still love Moomins, but the actual books themselves I'm not a massive fan of, but I do want to keep reading them because part of me is enjoying them for the nostalgia. But anyway, that is my unhaul. go me. Next week after Christmas, I am going to be filming a reorganisation of my bookshelves, and I'm dreading it. I'm going to be completely honest, dreading it, because it's going to be rough, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this massive unhaul. A lot of people are doing unhauls lately, and it's making me happy because we're all being pretty brutal. And I'm really loving the pun names on the whole unhaul before Christmas. That was the unhaul before Christmas, which I think was Jade's. And then Rose was Unholy Night, which was hilarious. I was giggling about that one for ages. Mine is literally just a big unhaul to make space for Christmas presents. But I've now got to tidy this up and figure out where I'm putting these books, because charity shops are not going to be open now till after Christmas. Didn't think that one through, did I? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye.